せっかく1年が3人揃ったんだ。しかもそのうち2人はおのぼりさんと来てる。行くでしょ、東京観光。東京 We love 東京。バカ TDL は千葉だろ。
I guess this is how I was behaving when I first went to Japan. I just love how all the characters have very distinct personalities, especially old boy over here that made an entire language using rice ball ingredients. Genius!
筋子。
逆に殺されないようみっちりしごいてやるぞ。おすおすおす。
Okay, I got something to tell you guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I am not a fan of talking animals in anime. I know. I get a little heat from some of my friends, but I guess there's just that part of me, even though things have changed a lot and anime is super popular, but it's just I have that thought in my head that someone's going to not know anything about anime and they're going to see me watching this and they're going to see me watch a talking animal and they're going to be like, oh, you still watch cartoons? Anyways, I know I'm being petty. Some people detest fan service in anime. Some people detest filler episodes. Actually, a lot of people detest filler episodes. For me, it kind of depends. But for me, this is just kind of one of my things that I'm not really a fan of. Now that I put that all out there, I think Panda deserves a pass. Okay, so I'm wondering, I'm thinking, what is the vibe of this opening track? Okay, it's not like amazing or anything, but it gets the job done. It's not bad. Okay, I'm wondering what the closing track will. Hey, yo, look at your boy Yuji out there. He over here trying to get fresh. He's got the hair gel going in. He's looking fresh. He's looking fly. He's trying to do his thing. Yeah, I like this. This track is fire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. And today we're here to talk about none other than the very popular and much deserving Jujutsu Kaisen. If you are new to the channel, I am Ryofu, and what we do here is cover anime news, cover video game news. Some stuff a little controversial, some not so much. And then what we also talk about is we get into reviewing anime and video games. I've never said this, by the way, in a video, but I'm going to say it now, that any review I do is spoiler free. So you can rest assured on that. If you haven't seen anything that I'm about to talk about, you're good to go. I try to be very sensitive about this stuff. I don't like stuff being spoiled on me. So if any of this sounds remotely intriguing to you, please hit that red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. So prior to the anime adaptation, Jujutsu Kaisen had around 6 million volumes in circulation. And by the time the anime had completed, this was probably around late March of 2021, we are looking at now 40 million volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen in circulation. And that is quite a feat, so much so that it makes it in the high bracket, the top tier of highest selling manga. Now, this isn't like of all time, but it's up there. It's in the big dog leagues now. Jujutsu Kaisen is an amalgamation of what you want in a shonen anime. A diverse cast of strange but charming characters, great fight scenes, moments of characters questioning their morality, great sense of humor, and a nice little sprinkle of horror elements. So pretty much the backdrop of this anime is that all human beings have negative energy, and that negative energy manifests into cursed energy. And what comes from this cursed energy is that creates these spirits called curses. Now, the thing is that I guess you could say what makes a regular human being different from Jujutsu sorcerer is that they know how to control this cursed energy and use it and wield it, whether it's imbue it with weapons or their feet or their hands or whatever they got to do. Since these curses are pretty much just a manifestation of negative energy, essentially all they want to do is cause harm to humanity. The series follows Yuji Itadori that excels in athletics, but instead of joining the track team, he decides to join the occult club with only 2 members. Later you find out this is only because this gives him plenty of time to check in on his only next of kin, his terminally ill grandfather. But some events happen that force Yuji's hand. He has to decide on if he will listen to the advice of his grandfather and be kind and show willingness to help others, or will he live only for self-preservation? Because of his spontaneous and reactionary mindset, he makes a crazy split decision that changes his life forever. So like I said, the cast of characters are very diverse. One of my personal favorites is Maki, and it's because I am totally a sucker for any character that, at least on the surface level, it appears that maybe she has some shortcomings, which in her case, she has low curse energy. So that means in order to even see the spirits, which, by the way, that's another aspect to this show that I'm a sucker for. You know, anything involving spirits, and, you know, typically humans can't see the spirits. Most jujutsu sorcerers can see the spirits, but in the case of Maki, she has to wear glasses in order to see them at all times. Another personal favorite is Todo, and I mean, it's pretty obvious with him. What you see is what you get, just high energy, super alpha male, you know, obnoxious and over the top, but just very, very entertaining and ridiculous. But he's also a badass too, so you got to give credit where credit is due. And it does appear that maybe his teammates do not feel the same about him as how I'm describing him.
タカタンビームお願いします。
いきますよ。タンポコパ
お時間です。
Oh, wait, hold on. I got to comment on this. Okay, so this actually happened to me. I know what this feels like. So I was at a convention in Seattle, and this voice actor at the time, she at one of her panels, she said that she was from Oklahoma. So then when I went to go get an autograph, I was like, hey, you know, I'm from Oklahoma too, hey. And then she high-fived me. And by the time, as fast as I just said that to you guys, I saw someone out of the corner of my eye go like this, and he was doing it to like whoever was in line behind me. And I was like, what? I just got here, cuz. Who raised you? Who raised you? I just got here, son. I just got here. But anyways, and so therefore, as fast as that happened, this jet, you know, me saying it, high five, this, that time, that person is like a few steps behind me, and she's kind of already reacting. And then I'm just like, all right, I guess this means I gotta go. Thanks for the autograph. But no, I'm not, I mean, I'm not tripping. I get it. You know, it's one of those things where they got to keep it moving. So, I mean, you don't got to tell your life story and shit. But I still, you know, I kind of know that feeling when you feel like you're getting rushed off like, next. I found Mahito to be one of the more interesting curses, or bad guys, I guess you could say. I don't want to give away what his power is. So let's just say it's one of the darker and more morbid of all the powers. But there is one character that stands at the very top. And the reason why I'm saying this individual stands at the very top is because it isn't too often you have a character that's just an absolute badass, just destroys everything in his path, and will probably have the approval of the female audience. I knew when Gojo, as soon as he took off his mask, I knew it was a wrap. I was like, here they come. I knew the female otakus were gonna sniff him out. I just knew. I knew it was game over. It was game over. It was just like, does somebody smell Bishonen? There's a Bishonen nearby. You know that's exactly how that went down. But anyways, regardless, you know, he is a badass dude. You know what I mean? He is a badass dude. And it's kind of crazy that they made him look the way he looks. And then, you know, you look at Yuji and you're like, oh, Yuji is Yuji, you know? and then they show this guy and you're like, okay, that's interesting. But you know, his personality, Gojo's personality is just really,
よし、わかった。じゃあ、廃棄のおにぎりでキャッチボールしながら、政教分離について語ろうぜ。動画上げて炎上しようぜ。お一人でどうぞ。
So, as you can probably guess with the next thing I'm about to say, these fight scenes are epic. The animation in this show is off the charts. It looks really good. And it's so cool that we've gotten to this place in anime where any show with a solid budget is just going to look spectacular. Fight scenes are going to look spectacular. Not quite sure how much money they threw at this, but it looks really good. It isn't as wild and as crazy as like a Mob Psycho or One Punch Man. And I'm mentioning those specifically because that was some of the influence, but I still, you know, you got to give it to this show. This show looks really good. One of the more powerful moves that you will see in the show that I guess pretty much anyone can do this. I don't want to go too much into detail with that, but I'll just say that it's called domain expansion. And it's pretty much like, the best way I would describe it is like, if you're familiar with Mega Man and you know, you have Water Man, Fire Man, or Quick Man. And it's like, you go into Quick Man's lair. Well, guess what? You gotta be quick. And I know, I'm sorry, I just kind of dated myself there, but that was the quickest reference that popped in my head. But essentially, it's like a boss battle. So it's like you're fighting this guy in normal terrain, and then next thing you know, he's like really powering up, and then now you're pretty much like in his lair where he does way more damage, and he kind of isolates you into this shell, and it makes it, I don't want to say impossible, but makes it really hard for you to escape it. But my understanding is that doesn't mean it's difficult to get in. It's just difficult to get out. This is also one of the parts of the show where it really showcases, you know, the beautiful animation, which, I mean, you know, just takes the fights to a whole nother level. One of the things that really caught me by surprise was the pop culture references.
母さん飲みすぎ。最悪の酔っ払いだ。
ウィルソン！ウィルソン！許してくれ！ウィルソン！
それキャストアウェイだろ。
正解！
私わかんない。映画ネタ？
I actually enjoyed these moments. I don't see anything wrong with them, you know, and it's something I'm not typically used to seeing in anime in terms of, let's put it this way, references to Western culture. That's what I'm not used to. I've seen tons and tons of anime referencing to things in relation to Japanese culture, but referencing to Western culture, not so much. So this was quite a surprise and pretty funny. This season ended at 24 episodes, and you could tell it ended at a point where there's just so much more to get into, and you can tell there is going to be some conflict. Granted, it'll just make things more interesting, but there will be some conflict in regards to how does Yuji internalize killing or having to deal with people. It's going to be interesting dynamic. Another thing I like about the show is that they have these little moments at the end of certain episodes. They just kind of have like a really ridiculous over-the-top skit, and it's in reference to the characters, and it can be absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't have to make sense or anything. One of them, it had like one of the bad guys falling in love with another bad guy, like ridiculous stuff like that. And to be honest with you, it just reminds me of the little Blue Seed skits at the very end. And I find these hilarious. I mean, it's just something where they could be silly. I've convinced you at this point to watch it. You absolutely should. You won't regret it. You know, it is definitely a top tier shonen. I was expecting it to be good, but I just was still surprised by how good it was. I will say one thing, and this is me being petty, so, you know, take me to the petty police, but I gotta say this. The only thing I was slightly disappointed, and like I said, this is super minuscule. So there's different levels of curses. There's different levels of these evil spirits. Now, there's moments where the lower level ones, sometimes there's higher level ones, but mostly the lower level ones, they can't speak. And they make this weird, annoying sound. And to me, this is a moment, I'm shouting out you manga readers, this is the moment where sound fails. To me, it cheapens it. And you know, when you hear the spirits going, woo, 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 it's just like, well, any moment of like looking at this creature and being like, whoa, that's pretty disturbing, out the window. It's gone. The moment is gone. It's like, I'm not scared of this thing because this thing is woo, woo. It's really, you worked hard on that one, didn't you? Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Please leave a like. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you're interested in checking this out, and let me know if you've already seen it or even if you've read the manga. Until next time, my friends, I will see you in the next video. One more thing. Can we just hit, hey, oh, we out here again. Oh, look at Gojo. He over here trying to kill these streets. He's trying to kill these. He's over here catching a vibe. The homie is catching a vibe.